Welcome back, everyone. As promised, I'm going to show you how to put the numbers onto the grid. Along the way, you'll learn some other tips and techniques that will hopefully inspire you to come up with your own projects that you can do with Inkscape. In order to add text to the grid, you need to select the Alpha tool. And I'll move down and type in a 1. I'm selecting the 1. Now I'm going to Text menu, and I'm going to change the size of the font. Apply. Oh, I just adjusted it a little bit. And then I select it and press Control D to copy it and just move over the copy. And I'll just keep doing this until I have a whole row of 1s down at the bottom. Now I'm selecting all of them. You just pressed Shift click in order to select more than one. So I selected all of them. And now I'm going to use the Align and Distribute tools. I just click there and look, they just went in a line, nice and pretty. Now I just have to change all those 1s to the actual numbers that I want. So I select a number, go over to the Alpha tool, and I can just backspace and type in the one that I want. Do that all through the line. When I'm done this line, I'm going to show you how to do this an alternate way. Okay, so here I'm just typing in all of the numbers, and I'm using this tool that allows you to space text, and I'm just using the up arrow on that to space the numbers further apart. This is done by pixels, so you can't really just type in a number. You can't just say I want them 1 inch apart. And depending on your zoom level, the number of pixels is going to be different. So you really just have to fiddle around. Now I'm going to get rid of that. I just wanted to let you know that there is an alternate way. I really don't think it's any easier. In fact, I think it took longer. Now I'm shift clicking to select each one of those numbers. And now I'm going to Control G to put them in a group and Control D to copy them. Now I can move the copy up to the top of the page. But they're not oriented the way I want. I want them to be left to right and upside down, so that they'll be right side up when you turn around the paper. Just line them up a little bit. Now I'm going to Control D again, and I'm going to shift them 90 degrees. So now I'll just move that copy down to the right hand side. And now I'm going to Shift Control G to ungroup them so that I can use each individual number. I want to copy that 8 and move it up. And change it to a 9. Now I copied the 9 and moved it up, and I'll change it to a 10. So now I'm going to select all of them by just putting a box around it. It's a lot faster than shift clicking each one. And I'll line them up, copy it, and move it over to the left side. And now I'll reorient them just like I did at the top. So now we can put our numbers on the angles. I'll show you 3 different methods of turning your text so that it lines up with the angle. First method I'll show you involves putting text on a path. It's a neat feature. So I'm just going to select it and I'm going to type in a 60 way over here. So I select that, I select the 60-degree line, and now I'm going to put the text on a path. That put the text at the beginning of the path, which is way down in the corner. We don't want it there, we have to move it up. So I have to select it and move it up. You can see that it's on the same angle as the line. So you can use this tool to put letters or objects on any path, spirals, waves, whatever you might imagine. It's a lot of fun. The next method of putting text on our angle is a lot more straightforward. We're just going to type it in, select it, and if you click twice, you'll get some rotation handles. Then you can rotate it to the angle that you want. So we're going to use the same procedure for the 30-degree angle, and then when we get to a 120-degree angle, I can show you something a little bit different. So another way to put text on an angle is I'm going to type it in, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to Object, Transform. The Transform window over on the right has 5 tabs, one of which is Rotate. I'm rotating this in 30-degree increments. The object will rotate by the angle you specified relative to where it was. With Inkscape, you actively have to save your work. We're going to save this as an Inkscape SVG. SVG is a standard file format. Plain SVG adheres to the standard better, but since we're only going to be using this file with Inkscape, we'll save it as an Inkscape SVG. With this window open, I want to show you something that might help you in the future. Occasionally, Inkscape will crash, and if it does, it tries to save your work in a file that looks like that one that has all those numbers and underscores. If Inkscape does crash on you, you can look for a file like that and you might be able to save your work. Between the last video and this one, you now have all the tools you need to make your own quilting rulers. When you do, I hope you'll share them with us. So long for now.